The moment where you really caught my attention was actually last year. In the opening minutes of your second episode of your podcast, Their Future, Our Pod, I was a subscriber, by the way.
Thank you.
You took that episode and you opened it up where you described what happened to you professionally and personally in the aftermath of that congressional campaign. And I have to tell you, that was probably the most compelling 15 minutes of any episode of any podcast I have heard.
Wow.
I was riveted.
The headline is, I risked a lot to run, I lost a lot, and yet here I am again, risking so much more, running again, because this fight is so deeply important to me. You know, I ran for Congress against our nation's most embarrassing Congresswoman, Nancy Mace, back in 2022, and I lost that race. And if you can rewind back to that time, that was really when, you know, this anti-trans attack came from the highest levels of the Republican Party. I was called a child abuser nearly every day online by my congresswoman and my opponent, Nancy Mace, which, you know, as a practicing pediatrician and a mom of 3 school-age kids, where I'm often with other children at the soccer field or at the car pickup line, you know, it's not an ideal thing to have floating out there about your character. I was deeply disappointed in, you know, what I would describe as a lack of leadership or bravery from my former institution. You know, I didn't see them standing up to speak up to defend our trans youth, who are the most vulnerable, some of the most vulnerable kids in our community. The political relationship between our Freedom Caucus here in South Carolina and some of our public institutions is not healthy and does nothing to benefit our patients. So I lost that race. I went back to, you know, where I had worked for 15 years. I was a full professor. I was a grant-funded researcher. I was a director of a fellowship program, the advocacy curriculum. And I said, you know, I'm really looking forward to continuing my work here clinically as a pediatrician. And essentially, I was told they didn't have room for me anymore.
Wow.